Good morning and welcome to Kindercrafty. Today I'd like to share with you how to teach fine motor skills with your toddler. I have a 13-month-old little boy who is almost 14 months and we're really just starting to do quote-unquote lessons. Those of you that are new to my channel may not know that I have a degree in early childhood education and I was a kindergarten teacher for about 15 years. But this is my first baby, so this is the first time I'm teaching this skill in my own home with things that are purchased not in a teacher store, but in stores that you would go to in your everyday life. So come along and I'll share some things that I've been doing. So first of all, I'm going to try to move this slowly so I don't make you all motion sick. Okay, Melissa and Doug puzzles. I love these wooden puzzles. They can be pricey if you buy them retail. I got the top puzzle at the consignment store, and the peg puzzle was a birthday gift for my son. So with the chunky puzzles that have no pegs, these are really the best one to start with. So the first skill you would start with is just that full hand grasp and pulling them off. He has mastered that, so now we're working on trying to fit it into a designated space. And the teacher lingo for that is called spatial awareness, knowing that an object fits into an outlined space. So we're working on grabbing it and putting it back into the spot. Here's a peg puzzle. He cannot do this independently. I only use this when I'm working with him, but I work on his pincer grasp, strengthening that. So we pinch and take it off, and then we just, zoom them around. And you can do language activities by naming each thing or counting the wheels. He is not expected to put that back in its spot. That's too advanced. So a different skill with that puzzle, but a great fine motor activity. Here are wooden blocks in all shapes and sizes and colors. And what I'm working on with this is really like a little bit more finesse and coordination. He likes to knock them down after I stack them up. So I'm really working on with him taking the top one off gently and placing it down on the floor, getting the next one, and then finally the last one. And then, of course, for fun, sometimes we just knock them down, just because it's fun to listen to them crash. Here is a shape sorter. It's originally from IKEA. I purchased it at the baby consignment shop. It's wooden on the bottom, plastic on the top, and the pieces are plastic. So it's pretty self-explanatory. You all probably know how to do this. They just fit the correct shape into the correct spot on top of the roof. But something additional that I do, a language component, is I name the shape and the color when I'm praising him. So for example, I know that the triangles are yellow. So when we put it in, I say, oh yay, you found the yellow triangle. The yellow triangle goes right there. Good job. So see how I've added a language component to it? Okay, so stacking rings. You all probably have these. I have wooden ones. And with this particular activity, I'm actually working on his left hand and his right hand coordination. He prefers his left hand right now, but children don't establish dominance until between the ages of 3 and 5 years. So it's a little premature, but he likes to hold the base with his right hand, and then he uses his left hand. He sticks his thumb under and slides it off this way. When I'm teaching him, I put him in order. He, does not know that there's an order to the rings. That's way too advanced right now. But I'm hoping that with repetition, in time, when he's ready for that skill, he will have seen it so many times that he can be taught that skill pretty easily. There's supposed to be a finial, like a little red ball on top. It's under the couch. The abyss under the couch. All the toys get hidden under there. Okay, and then we have stacking cups. You all can get these very inexpensively at the dollar store. These are just little plastic ones. I actually got them from Babies R Us in like the bath section, but I use them out to, teach fine motor skills too. So they're great for stacking inside, turning them over and stacking them up tall, and taking them off one at a time. That's another good coordination fine motor skill. So stacking cups, those are easy to find. Big Legos, the big huge ones, so you're not worried that, it's a choking hazard. These are really good. I stack them up, and I like him to try to take them off one at a time instead of just knocking them down. He right now prefers to muscle his way through that. He likes to use his biceps to just yank them apart. And I'm really trying to get him to use his fingers, his fine motor, to get his thumb in there, his fingers in the grooves, and pull them apart that way. So that's what I'm working on there. And then these little things, I'm sorry, I don't even know what they're called, and they did come from a teacher store a long time ago, so I apologize. But you could get something similar that does the same skill. And really, the little grooves, they fit together, and then you can pull them apart. So right now, I put two together, and then he sticks his little thumbs in and pulls them apart. I'm sorry I can't show you with one hand. If you go back and look at my vlog on purging baby toys, you'll see me push those together and pull them apart. And he's getting really good at pulling them apart, so I'm going to try next really getting him to push them together, which is hard. Those little grooves are hard to get them to fit just right. Okay, so those are the kinds of things that I'm doing. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, I always keep something out on the, can I get this? On the coffee table that he can just play with, like when Daddy is watching TV or whatever. This is a pumpkin basket they turned inside out for just fall. It's just orange gingham with a little brown piping. So inside are things that he can explore with his fingers, and I try to trade that out pretty often. So you'll find things that I've collected all around my home and just put them in there, and it's like he's discovering them for the first time. So there's like a book and a car and a foamy letter and, bath toy and just things that he can just use his little fingers to play with. Some puzzle pieces that are missing from a puzzle, chunky puzzle pieces. Okay, so there's that. Now I'm going to go through and kind of give you my 3-3-3 rule when teaching. And hopefully then when the baby gets up, I'll actually go through and model an actual teaching time. Okay, so I usually pick 3 different activities that I'm going to focus on that day. So my 3-step process is I engage, then I play with him, and then I step back and observe him play on his own. So let me go through and show you. So I may, if I start with the puzzles, I may say, oh look, Mommy's gonna find the blue dinosaur. Look it, there's the blue dinosaur. I'm gonna put him back. Can you help me find a dinosaur? Come on, come help me. And then he'll toddle over and sit in my lap. And then I usually do hand over hand, which means his little hand is on the puzzle, my hand is over his hand, and we grasp, because he's already got that skill, remember, and then I have him put it back in the spot. And then we go on to the next one. If he is not interested and he walks away or he turns his head or whatever, I try to engage him again. I only stick with an activity 3 times. I try to engage him. That's my other rule of 3. Try to engage him 3 times. If he's not interested, move on. Let him play with something else. So then I'll go to the second activity. And so maybe it is, let's do this. There's different ways that you can use this. So besides the original way that I talked about, you can put this on the carpet. It's a different texture underneath, and slide the pieces in and see if he can figure out how to get them out or slide them in himself. So that's another activity. Now, when this was new, he wanted to play with it for a long time. Typically, I do about 5 minutes for each game or activity. But if they want to stick with something longer, then by all means, stick with that thing for longer. So that would be like my number 2 activity. So I would try to engage him 3 times. We would play with that for about 5 minutes and then move on to the next activity. And so then maybe we'll play with the Legos. So that would be my 3rd activity. And I usually build something, try to get him interested or engaged. He comes over and then I do hand over hand and show him how to take the pieces off. And then the third component is then I step back, keep my hands to myself, and watch him explore how to do things. And then, after you've done like 3 kind of teacher times, just let him play. Just let him have some free play. So that's kind of what I do to teach fine motor skills. And let me see if I can turn this around now so you can see me. Hi. Sorry about that. I'm not really good at filming yet. So hopefully when he wakes up, I will get to show you a real life lesson that I do with him. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was helpful. If you have kids that are a little bit older than mine, feel free to ask me any questions or send me a video response, and hopefully I can help you come up with some games and activities that are appropriate for the age of your child. Thanks for tuning in. See ya!